and welcome to another edition of Pulp Picks. My name is Patrick.
I'm Fritz.
I'm Sarah.
And we're here to give you our reading recommendations for this week's new comic book releases. And Sarah, you haven't been around for, a week or two? So
yeah,
it's like your life is really busy.
Yeah.
Go on, get in the spotlight.
Yeah.
All right, so this week I picked Batman, the Brave and the Bold, #1. Yes, it's Batman, but it's also not Batman. So there's actually 4 stories within here. You've got some awesome authors. My favorite story was the first one, I'm not gonna lie. It's very dark. It's one of the Batman-centric stories by Tom King, but oh boy, just like be ready for
chilling.
Yeah, very much so. It's a heck of a way to start off the book.
Well, not to mess up your mojo here, but it's a throwback to the first Joker appearance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is a straight-on reference to. I assumed that's what they were doing. It's a retelling of it, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. It's really good. So yeah, the GCPD are all at this one house trying to keep this guy safe, and they're talking about this Joker, and it's very clear that they don't, like, this is a new person, they don't know who it is, and because Gordon's like, oh, it's probably some 12-year-old prank calling us.
Well, like, it kind of reminded me of, like, the start of The Dark Knight, where, like, they know the Joker exists, but, like, who cares about him? Like, we gotta deal with organized crime.
Yeah.
And then once he starts escalating, it's just like, oh, no.
Oh, crap.
We made a mistake.
Yeah, so it's really good. And then I just want to make sure that I have the order right. So Stormwatch is the second one by Ed Brisson, so it's a really interesting, you've got all these characters trying to essentially fight this machine that's going to age everybody like horribly if they don't stop it. So they have to like put an end to it. After that is the Superman story by Christopher Cantwell, who did I don't know, it was really good.
It makes a very good argument for giving him more Superman.
Yeah, it does. But it's fascinating because it's like, I guess I don't know how to call it. Clark. I don't know which one is the more right one today. But he's struggling. Like, he's struggling as a writer, as Clark. He's struggling like most people, he doesn't really like to talk about himself. So so they try to put him on the Superman beat, and he's like writing all these stories, and Lois is like, these are horrible. These are bad. I didn't think Superman could be boring, but you've managed to do it. So it's really cool. I'm intrigued to see where that one goes. And then the last one, I think you were saying, Fritz, that each issue will end with like one black and white story that's not continuous.
Yeah, so like each one is going to have like someone doing like their own like black and white Batman story. Yeah. This one is from Dan Mora, who you guys probably know from his work on World's Finest, the new Shazam comic, Once and Future, like everything he touches is gold, and this is no exception.
Yeah, and Fritz and I were talking about that we really wish this was a story that didn't have an ending to it. Because all the other stories will continue in the next issue of Batman Brave and the Bold. But the black and white one is just a one-shot standoff story. But yeah, Fritz and I were like, oh, could we have a little more? It was good. So all around, the art, I love when you're able to tell so many different stories and have so many artists involved. It's just beautiful for each of the stories. Can't recommend it highly enough. It's a really solid read, and it has very different vibes.
Oh yeah.
So the first story it's dark. It's very dark. And there's a lot of ampersands and lots of swearing. Yeah. But then, like, the Superman story is more heartfelt, and it's so you get all sorts of different vibes with it.
As the song goes, something for everyone. Our comedy tonight.
Yes, exactly. So it's a really solid read. I'd highly recommend it. Fritz, what did you pick this week?
So I picked the new series Arcade Kings from Image Comics. It's got kind of like an old school gaming like anime vibe to it. Basically how it starts, you kind of like, it's a bit of flashback. You got like this world-renowned fighter winning his like 20th straight match. His kids, or at least one of them, is super excited about it. Just like, yeah, I'm going to be just like him when I grow up. Cut to the present. apparently something's happened, and there's been a bit of a falling out. The titular the kid who wanted to be a fighter, like he's definitely become a fighter. He's on his own now. He's calling himself Joe, kind of just hanging out at this arcade, beating up street toughs, protecting it from them and making friends. It's got this like real kind of like wholesome, like, oh, this is just him trying to live his best life vibe. And then his past starts to catch up with him, and turns out maybe not the best family life back home. So there's video games, there's fist fights with mechs, there's cyborgs, there's family drama. What more could you want? The art is just super colorful and cartoony and over the top, and I love it. Like, it just, I don't know, if there was anything I could use to describe this, it like energy, like it exudes energy. It's like, it kind of like take like almost like the Chris Samney style and just like make it a bit more energetic, if that makes any sense. Yeah. But really excited to see where it goes next. Like, because you look at it first and you think it's going to be this kind of more like light, like fluffy thing, and then like no, it looks like there's going to be some more drama as it goes. Which, of course, me being me, like there's always got to be drama in whatever I pick, apparently. But no, like. Very, very fun. I love that like his mask is supposed to be like a dragon fruit. Oh. But like everyone just keeps calling him a tomato head.
Yeah.
Nice. And it pisses him off every time, and it's like, but no, I very excited to see where this is going. It wasn't on my pull list before, it's definitely going to be now. But no, very good start. Speaking of, we all picked number one. So Patrick, what was your number one?
Yeah, well, you almost couldn't not pick it.
Yeah, there's so many.
A lot of good starts this week.
So many number ones. And for me, it was like basically a coin toss between my pick Avengers number one, which has a new creative team and a new direction, and I'm very excited about. And Titans number one is also really good. It was a toss-up between the two. But Jed McKay and CF Vila are taking over on Avengers after a really long Jason Aaron had a stranglehold on all the Avengers forever, taking them through all kinds of weird Avengers BC stuff and whatever.
They fought Evil Goo. That happened.
They fought Evil Goo. No Evil Goo in this one, though, but a classic Avengers villain in Terminus, which was fun to see. But basically, this is Carol Danvers is leading the team. She gets voted to be the leader by the active Avengers members, and she gets to assemble her own team. And her take on it is, the Avengers have been police before, and it doesn't work. They need to be firefighters, and they need to save people and save as many people as they can and rush into the fire to do so. And that is, to me, in a nutshell, what happens in this first issue, but also just a great take on the Avengers. It's a really good way to set them up. And she specifically references how, trying to be cops has created civil wars, specifically within the Avengers. It's torn them apart on a number of occasions. So that's not what they're going to do. And it was really cool. It didn't try to do too much. It kind of put together a bunch of really classic Avengers characters, so much so that, they've all got so much history with each other that they point out all the friction that is going to be showing up, but they say that their cause is bigger than that, and so we're going to work past that because what we're doing is so important. It's beautiful. The art is great. The concept is really good, and there's a bunch of big hitters.
One of the things I really liked is it does the thing that a lot of good titles do, where like it will reference stuff that's going on in like individual characters' like own series, but without like a way that makes you feel like you're missing something. Yeah. Like, cause like you get references to like the follow-up of a lot of recent Thor stuff and Black Panther stuff, or like Vision dealing with like Judgment Day from last year, but like never in a way where you're like scratching your head like, oh, like what are they talking about? Like, it explains exactly what you need to know, like gives, and then like lets that roll into like how that impacts their character interactions now.
Yeah.
Like,
full disclosure, I know that I own a comic shop, but I don't read every single comic that comes out. So I'm following roughly half of this team, and probably one or two of those I'm only half following. So yeah, I've been reading everything Iron Man recently because the Cantwell run was great, and Dugan, yeah, Jerry Dugan's on it now, and I've been reading that. Haven't been reading Black Panther or Thor. Vision hasn't really had much of anything lately.
Not in a while,
popping up here, popping up there. Scarlet Witch has been great though, so following that. And I didn't feel lost. I thought that they did a really good job of kind of, telling you where everybody's at right now. But yeah, the art is gorgeous. It's very Avengers feeling.
Yeah.
We were saying we believe that Vila is coming off of X titles.
They've been doing a lot of X-Men stuff the last couple of years.
Yeah, so, doing team books, obviously, in their wheelhouse. So, yeah, it's I just really liked it. To me, it felt like a modern take on classic Avengers, and without trying to do too much, which the Jason Aaron run just didn't do it for me. It felt like he was trying to shake things up too much, and it just was weird. So I'm really excited to have a new Avengers one. But yeah, there's a ton of number ones this week. There's a bunch of good stuff. We talked about Cyborg and Titans. Guardians has a number 2 this week, which was also fantastic. Kev Walker's just killing it on that book. This issue might have even looked better than last issue, which is crazy. But it was just awesome. Yeah, there's so many good books. Yeah. So get down here, check them out. If you don't have the opportunity to get down here, they're going to be on our website for you to be able to purchase or set aside for yourself. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all of that stuff that we ask you to do every single week. And we'll be back next week with our picks for then. Until then, have a great time, and we'll see you later. This was, I seriously had 2 inches of books that I bought last night.
No, I saw.
Stupid.